Have you ever had one of those tech problems that just drives you absolutely nuts? You know the one? You've checked all the cables, you've rebooted everything a dozen times, and the glitches just keep happening? Well, what if the problem isn't inside your office at all? What if it's the neighbors? All right, welcome. This is part 6 of our 10-part tutorial, and it's all based on a really fantastic report about radio frequency interference from the pros at RFI Detectives, who are part of Virtualization Options LLC. Today, we're getting into what is, honestly, the most maddening kind of interference, the kind that starts completely outside of your control.
So let's set the scene. You're in the middle of an office mystery. The Wi-Fi's unreliable, maybe your wireless keyboards get flaky, but the IT department has checked everything, and they swear it's all perfect. This is a classic sign. When everything inside seems fine, it's probably time to start looking out the window.
That's right, we are going beyond your four walls today. We're talking about interference that has nothing to do with your computers or your own wireless network. It's coming from sources completely external to your office, and sometimes even the whole building.
And this is so important to get. You could have the most expensive, top-of-the-line, perfectly set up tech in the world. But if there's a powerful enough signal blasting in from the outside, your gear can still get completely knocked for a loop. It's not your fault, but yeah, it's still your problem. So, who are these mysterious neighbors making all this electronic noise? It's time to pull back the curtain and identify our main suspects.
In our other explainers, we've talked about things like bad wiring, or even your own devices causing trouble. But today, we're looking at a totally different beast: external transmitters. And here's the key difference. These things aren't broken or faulty. They are powerful devices that are designed to broadcast incredibly strong signals.
So suspect number 1? The big guns. Commercial radio and TV stations. I mean, think about it. Their entire purpose is to blast a signal so powerful it can reach every car and home in the city. If your office building happens to be anywhere near one of those giant broadcast towers, that immense energy can easily overwhelm your poor office electronics.
And then we have cell towers. They're everywhere, right? Now, for the most part, they're not a problem. But if you are extremely close to one, and I mean like it's on the roof of your building, that can just crank up the overall level of radio frequency energy in your entire space, making everything more sensitive to other little glitches.
And get this, it's not always a giant tower you can see from your window. This quote from the report is just fantastic. This office manager chased these ghost problems for months, and it turned out to be a ham radio hobbyist just 2 floors up. It really shows you how surprising the source can be.
Okay, but how? How does a TV tower miles away actually make your wireless mouse jittery? Well, the science behind it is actually pretty simple to grasp. It really just comes down to one simple concept: being totally overwhelmed.
Right. The key word here is overwhelm. Your office equipment has these super sensitive little receivers in it. They're designed to listen for very specific, pretty weak signals, like Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. A powerful external signal from a broadcast tower is like a fire hose of radio energy that just completely drowns out those delicate receivers.
And this is honestly the best way to picture it. Imagine you're trying to have a quiet conversation, a little whisper in your apartment. But in the apartment right next door, someone is blasting a rock concert at full volume. There's no way you can hear the whisper over all that shouting, right? That is exactly what's happening to your electronics. The TV tower is shouting, and your Wi-Fi is just trying to whisper.
Okay, so here's the reality check. You can't just call up the local TV station and ask them to, turn it down a bit. They're not going to do that. So if you can't stop the source, what on earth can you do? How do you defend your workspace?
Well, your defense plan really has a few layers. You can try to shield your space, which is kind of like soundproofing a room, but for radio waves. You can also install filters right where your power and internet cables enter your office, which basically strip out all that unwanted background noise. And finally, you can make your own gear tougher, more resilient, by using high-quality, well-shielded cables and enterprise-grade hardware that's just built to take a beating.
So, all of these strategies, they all boil down to one core philosophy. If you can't get rid of the threat, you have to get tougher than the threat.
And this, right here, is the single best line from the report on this topic. It just captures the whole idea perfectly. You have to make a mental shift. Stop worrying about how to eliminate the external signal and start focusing on how you can make your office basically invisible to it. You want to turn your office into a fortress.
So I'm going to leave you with that question. Think about your own workspace. Think about all those weird little glitches that nobody can seem to explain. And ask yourself, is your office a fortress, or
Is it an easy target for all those unseen neighbors out there? Thanks for tuning in.